Hi, I'm Gabrielle Alexa. I've written for Tinder, Bellesa, The Huffington Post, The Independent, and today I'm going to talk about how I got started writing and how you can also get started with your writing career. People talk to me on Twitter, they talk to me on Instagram, and they always want to know, how did you get started writing? How could I get started writing? How should I start? And I answer it, I feel like once a week, and someone still asks me the following week. So I just wanted to quickly do this video. I always wanted to be a writer. I didn't realize that it was something that could make me money. I got started writing 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. I started a blog. I had just finished a web design course, and our final was to code a website, right? Of course, to code a fully functional website. And I just didn't want my code to go to waste. The idea of submitting it to a professor and just getting a grade seemed so empty. So as soon as I turned in my final, I immediately started working on a blog, and I had no idea what I even wanted, what topics I even wanted to cover, but I just started writing about things that interested me. Maybe 6 months into my blog, I realized that way more people were reading what I had to say than I thought. I thought maybe 2 people were reading it, and I kind of thought they were just strangers. I thought the people I knew in real life would have no interest in reading my writing, and I found out that that was not true. Tons of people were reading what I had to say. People would find me in person and be like, hey, I just read your blog, it's really cool. And my blog was ugly at first. There are a lot of people who don't start blogging or writing because they want everything to be perfect. They plan out this whole strategy, and the reality is your first try might not be a great try. You're not going to get it perfect, and that's fine. I think that if you are interested in writing, you should just start. If you're waiting to be perfect, you might never start. So I was writing my blog for 6 months when I saw a job posting online for Galore magazine. Under no circumstances did I think that Galore was going to take a chance on me, but I just had time that day, so I applied. After I left Galore, I started pitching my work freelance. It was really slow at first. I had to definitely build up my bylines before more serious publications started taking me seriously. I was definitely writing a while before I started making money. When I first started writing, I was getting paid sometimes $20 for one post, sometimes $50 for one post, and that was a nightmare because I would have to write 3 posts a day, every day, to make money. And it was only once I had practice, once I had built myself up as a writer, that I was able to start negotiating 100, 150, and then 200, 250, 300, and now I'm even writing pieces where I'm getting paid 400. Freelancing is definitely an adventure, it's definitely an experience. You will not get paid the same amount for each publication. You will not get paid the same amount for every single piece that you do. I'm finally at a place where I don't have to pull all-nighters every night and bust out content every single day just to pay my bills anymore. And that's been really rewarding, and it allows me to focus on other projects that I also want to put my time and energy into. So how can you get started writing? The first thing I say is always to start a blog the same way I did. Definitely interning was really helpful, but I think that there are some people who can break into freelance without first interning, or there are people who start off freelancing and then intern, and I think that those are all valuable ways to break into writing. If you want to write, I think it's important to think of what kind of writer you want to be. Just like when you're starting a blog, you have to think of what your niche might be. If you're trying to become an influencer, you have to think of what your influencer niche is going to be. And I think in the same way, when you're writing, you should think about what kind of writer you want to be. Obviously, I picked a sex and dating writer. I didn't even pick it intentionally. I just started writing about topics that I really liked, and eventually I was like, there's a theme, and I started navigating from that theme, and I noticed that my career has gotten even better ever since. So I think that that's definitely important, is to think of a niche, think of what topics you're going to write, and then think specifically of what publications are going to house your topics. People DM me all the time to say that they've written this amazing 1,200-word piece on a topic that they really care about, that they think other people will care about too. And it's first of all, you need to know if the publications that you want to see your piece at even have the budget to pay for that kind of piece. You need to know, do they even publish those kinds of pieces, or have they published that piece recently? Before you even start writing your 1,200 words, go and you just have the idea, you should go check out the publication, make sure they haven't recently published something in that niche. Make sure they haven't talked about the specific thing that you're trying to pitch them before you even pitch them. Make sure that that even belongs with their brand. If they are an ESPN sports brand, they're not going to want to publish your take on reproductive rights. If you're pitching something at Playboy and they're talking about dating and sex and sexuality and kind of men's interest topics, they're probably not going to want to hear about your biomedical engineering article. So you have to just be realistic about what publications your topics would belong under, which publications would be receptive to your pitches, and then pitch them. Don't write the topic first, because if you get 7 no's and you've already written your topic, that's a waste of your time. You should focus on first maybe blogging or interning to build up proof that you can write first, and then pitch publications. Pitch them with your ideas, and when you find a publication that's like, hey, yeah, we have $150, $200, $300 to pay you to write that piece, that's when you start the writing process. And then once you've finished writing, work with your editor, be super receptive to their edits, be quick. After you have already finished writing the piece, sent it over, and you've gotten paid, make sure to follow up the editors, say that you appreciated working with them so that you are keeping that connection open for the future.